Welcome to Live Hacktion Replays. We're going to play a game together where I've collected 10 clips from just one session of Warzone, and then your job is to figure out who is cheating and who isn't. With cheating in Call of Duty being so bad, let's at least try and make some fun out of it. I'll be giving my own verdicts along with some reasoning as we go through, and I'll put my final scorecard in a pinned comment. Let me know where you think I'm right or wrong and why. Also, towards the end of the video, I'll be dropping in a bonus section called Would You Report Me?, where I'll be explaining 3 of my own sus clips. Will these explanations affect how you report suspected cheaters in future? We're going to kick things off with a nice easy one. This should be dead obvious to everybody, but they'll get harder as we go through the video. Let's go. So I've been using a drone to track this guy. I know exactly where he is. He's got no idea where I am. I'm just going to cautiously approach it, shoot the door to get a sight on him. And despite that pre-aim and me knowing where he is, he absolutely blitzes me. And then when we watch the replay, yeah, sure enough, cheating. 100% cheating. And if you disagree, fight me. But if we watch the kill cam slowed down, let's just watch this slow-mo, we can just confirm, if there was anyone doubting, he starts shooting through the door before he can even see me. 100% cheating. When people say 100% cheating, that should be the example of 100% cheating. On to our next clip. So there's fighting going on the roof. Somebody above me fighting somebody in the building opposite, perhaps. They might have an awareness where I am from when we first dropped in, because this is just after drop, but they don't know specifically where I am. We can hear footsteps. Now, I was completely silent then, but they knew exactly where I was and dropped a bunker on me. That could have been through a heartbeat sensor. That's the only way it would have been, but it could have been a heartbeat sensor. And then it seemed to be a pretty quick death. Pretty quick. Let's just run that one back. So he's dropped his bunker buster on me. So he knows that's roughly the area I'm in. They get the armor break, so they've got a hit on me, so they know I'm definitely there. They're going back looking in this direction. Bearing in mind I could have run off in any direction. And you can just see my feet, but at full speed it was a little bit difficult. But it could have just been luck. You know, there's only so many places they would have scanned, and then they did happen to see me. So in terms of are they cheating? Probably not. Probably not. On to clip number 3 then. Just for context, somebody just dropped in. I just got hits on them. We'd both done a bit of a reset, and now I'm chasing them down. And again, I get absolutely gunned. Totally gunned. So my sort of questions over this one were, did they have wall hack? There's a little glance, just sort of here. But are they tracking audio? They could be tracking audio. And then they do pre-aim and time that flash grenade. The stun grenade. Pretty spot on, don't they? But that could be good game sense. They absolutely could be good game sense. So I spectated him. So mouse and keyboard player, clearly not got aimbot. Missing shots all over the show. And then that was all just a bit of a cluster. So not too sure about the walls. Should have done better. And a good awareness there, or it could have just been good anticipation. And there, that is where I basically made the decision that they're not cheating. I don't think this person's cheating. In a pinch, a cheater is going to turn their aimbot on, and they didn't. And then also, if we just wind that back, at this moment here, they take cover, and then when they re-chal, they're not pre-aiming. And this is what costs them. Clearly not wall hacking, not aimbotting, not cheating. I just pushed them a little bit aggressively, and it cost me. Clip 4. I've got my bounty. I'm just trying to get eyes on. I can see them now moving out into the open. They're taking shots at me in the sky, so there's a bit of aggression about them. I can already tell that. I need to get behind cover. I get absolutely full sent and destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. Missed shots, so not aimbotting. Mouse and keyboard player again. I went to the gulag after this, so unfortunately I couldn't spectate them, but I did get to bump into them again. And here they are. So let's just run that through. A little bit more difficult to tell. Let's start from the very, very beginning. First off, they drop in here onto their loadout, and if they were wall hacking, would they have done that with me just stood here ready to start shooting at them? They'd have to be pretty brazen, but I mean, if you had wall hacks, perhaps. And then when we transition through to the kill cam, just think that this was the last point they saw me here. Yeah, just as I disappeared behind the wall. Yeah, so at this point, they don't know where I am. They start traipsing through the garage. They sort of look like they're tracking me, but they could be listening for audio. Bearing in mind, they have no idea where I am right now. Not really. They know I've gone to the right. They don't know where. And then here, at this point, where am I? Without a wall hack, you haven't got a clue. I could be behind this bin. I could be behind this loadout. I could be behind this loadout. I could be behind these cars. I could be behind a truck. Could be in the back of the truck. Any one of these places. And so you've got a decision to make. Do you full send it and expose yourself and just take the chance that I'm definitely here and not about to rechow from behind cover? Because if they jump out here and I'm behind any one of these things, they're going to get deleted. So what do? They literally, the very first thing they do is they jump straight out to clear this corner. Boom. Like, no hesitation. All hip fire, which is fine, because if you're good at the game, you'd probably know to hip fire at that range, especially with a scope sight. But it was just the fact that they've absolutely full sent it into this corner with all disregard for the fact that I could have been here and would have had them from a bit of a head glitch. In terms of the verdict to this player, I think I'm going to give them a benefit of the doubt, and I'm just going to say they're an 11 out of 10 aggressive player, and that they'll just take the hit on losing some gunfights through being so aggressive. Clip number 5. A little bit easier to tell this one. Somebody on the roof. I'm just listening for the footsteps. You can see I'm now on portable UAV. And deleted. Absolutely destroyed. Okay, let's run that one through again. So, I hear the footsteps on the roof while I'm just looting, so I realise there's somebody up there. I stop to sort of get an idea of where they are, get direction on them. And because I'm stopped and I ping up on their mini UAV, they think I'm a bot because I'm not moving. So they send me, which is fine. I get shots on them, and now they're on the defensive. They're just buying time while they plate because they're a good player. And then here, absolutely destroyed. So if we just look at this bit, looks like they could be looking through the wall, but I don't think they are. I think they're just staying a little bit central, listening for audio cues and just checking I'm not just pushing around this right-hand side either. And the real giveaway for me was when they're finally ready to chow, I timed mine nice and perfect with my sliding in here, and they were anticipating me to still be here. So the fact is that I break their aim, they don't pre-aim me. Shows they weren't walling, and unfortunately it's just Jackal PDW versus the GPR 91 in a TTK gunfight, and I lost. This is a weird one. This is a really weird one. Because I won that, and you wouldn't normally think, oh, I won, so they're cheating. But how did they know I was here?
Enemy dropping into the AO. Bounty targets identified. Weapons.
So let's just run this one back. I've picked the bounty up, so they might have had that pinged, so they might have had an idea that I was in this corner of the building somewhere. Yeah, that's very probable. I've then got into this corner. I'm making a bit of noise here. But at this point, their parachute is still making noise. And it's only there is where they're busting through the window. And at this point, I'm not moving. I'm not making any audio at all. And look, they just track straight in. Like exactly to where I am. But then because there's such a biff, they miss all the shots. So I'm like thinking, that could be a wall hack, but no aimbot. Interesting one. Could quite easily go under the radar, but cheaters often are bots. Let me know what you think about that one. On to clip number 7, final circle. I'll just play this one out.
You're in the top 5. Bring home the win. Semtex front. Inbound. 5 remain.
Tricky one. I didn't think this guy was cheating, if I'm honest. I just had my heckles up. Let's just run that back. So I had the UAV. I'm just seeing where people are. I could see just at the end there. I could see there's somebody down here. And I'm also getting footstep audio. So I'm now just slow peeking it, trying to not give myself away because they've got no idea I'm here. Unless they've got a heartbeat. But then they start lobbing grenades in. And that's what gets my heckles up. Because unless they've got a heartbeat, why are they chucking grenades in if they don't know I'm there? Yeah. I mean, it could be some super anticipation because the gas is coming, but I feel like they're a bit early there. So, I didn't feel like the shots were crazy. It just felt like he knew where I was. That's what it felt like. And then I did want to spectate them, but we've got British pro content creator, Real Slim JD, mopping up the lobby, so we never got to see the kill cam, unfortunately. The spectator feed. Until clip number 8. And we had them in another game. And destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
We lost that one, but we'll get a W next time.
Kablamo. I'd seen enough at that point. I was like, okay, nah, we're done. So for this one, I didn't need to see any more. As you can see, I'm pre-aiming the roof here. I knew where they were. And he still just absolutely insted me. But then obviously with that kill cam. And if you're thinking, no, that could just be legit aim assist, check this one out. Yeah. We got wall hack and aimbot on the go here. Obviously, there's no way they could see them. And if there's still any doubt... Kablamo. Off you go. Margir Petya. But so you can all be happy and sleep soundly at night. Just to show even cheaters, because they're so bad, they can still die. Have it. Good lad. Destroyed by Steve DeGal. Clip number 9. Steve DeGal holding his roof position. Sees a sniper. Keeps shooting. And unfortunately, gets blitzed. We'll just watch this slowly. He did the right thing. Keeps firing, and he's going for that flinch. The first shot looks like it misses, but hits them. But that's just the game being a game. They're still firing. And then 1, 2. They hit them twice. And they still got the snipe off. Obviously, we don't get to see the kill cam. But without aimbot, why would that flinch not stop you from landing that shot? But that could just be the game being the game. Hard to tell on that one. I'm gonna say they're probably not cheating, and it's probably just the game. Right, would you report me? We think about scenarios where you think it's definite cheater, and yet here I am with aimbot. Nope. It's aim assist. It's just absolutely ridiculously overpowered aim assist. But how are you supposed to tell the difference between that and this, which is legit aimbot? Look at that. Look at that tracking. And now look at this. It's the same. The only difference is one of them's legitimate. Right, and now onto game sense. This is where game sense can also look like wall hacking. So I'm looking for my bounty again. Here they are in the open. Slide cancelling, taking shots. They're an aggressive player. They get shots on me. They broke my armour. And then in a kill cam, that might have looked like I'm wall hacking. But I wasn't. It's just because they're an aggressive player, I know they're full sending me. I know exactly where they're coming from. The only way I'm going to survive this fight, or I've got a chance of surviving, is either through some demon-like movement or pre-firing while they're in a bit of a sprint. Now, they weren't sprinting. They were good enough to start pre-firing me as well. However, I just got lucky because somebody third-partied. But that looked like I was shooting them through the floor. And I wasn't. Well, I mean, I was, kind of, but it was legitimate. And then finally, audio. Audio in the gulag. What? Okay, so with this gulag layout, I always run to the center here and go for an audio cue. But this probably looks to them on their kill cam like I was wall hacking. I can just hear the here somewhere. And I'm just tracking the audio, and I can tell they go back that way, and then they're coming back. and just with the footsteps, and it was just, it looked like I tracked them at the wall. So anyway, that's just a couple of examples of how it looks like you can be cheating when you're not. Right, we're just watching our cheater die again. But unfortunately, he's dying to another cheater. This guy, Jupp, he's been cheating. There's another guy I've been talking about him all game, this guy. As you can see there, I could slow that down, but basically he pre-aims that guy perfectly, just had the wrong gun. So that's 2 cheaters in a row. And we are now watching our most tricky customer of the video. Clip number 10, Ronin. Okay, that looks legit, doesn't it? They stopped shooting, they didn't shoot through the wall, they didn't shoot through the window. That looked totally legit, just looked like good shots. Just bear in mind that this Ronin guy has just killed a cheater who killed a cheater. Again, no crazy pre-fire. They didn't pre-fire here. They didn't, like, trap them through the wall. I'll let this run now, and you decide.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
And I've seen enough at this point. Have you made a decision yet? I'll talk this through in a sec. Now are you convinced? So we're going to talk this back. And I think this is an example of somebody very capable of covering their cheats. And essentially all they're doing is not tracking through walls, and they're not pre-aiming where they think people are. So that person's just run off behind this building now. And if you were Ronin, you'd probably be worried about them re-peeking here and blitzing you here, wouldn't you? But we'll see what they do. So they're not. They're not worrying about them there. If that was me, I'd absolutely be worrying. I mean, I wouldn't like disregard this. There could be other people as well. But that's the same dude. Yeah? We'll see later, but he's got a blue gun. It's the same dude who was here. And yet Ronin was more sort of covering himself from this direction. Again, he doesn't like pre-fire the wall. He doesn't pre-trap the wall. And then all of a sudden, for somebody who's not being very adept at covering themselves, all of a sudden they have this amazing awareness that somebody could be creeping up behind them. And if they had better game sense, I would think, no, that's totally legit. They're just covering all their angles all the time. But they're not. The thing with this dude is, he's not covering any angles. Again, this person, the last time we saw them was here. And so the last information we got is they're possibly around here. They might have rotated around, but the last thing we know is they're probably around here. And he's not covering this at all. They could poke from behind any of this cover at any point, and they don't. And you know why? Because Ronin doesn't care, because he can see them, because they got wall hack. And again, he's being clever. He's not like hard scoping it, not hard scoping, but he knows he's there. He knows he's there. And then he just absolutely insta-deletes him, because I think he's got aimbot as well. Impact grenade. So by this point of the circle, the guy's launched the airstrike. We did get a red dot up here. We know he's up there. And again, he's covering by not pre-firing. Oh no, oh there he is. And then the aimbot kicks in and he just absolutely deletes the guy. And then he launches his Kobe's to finish the game. Right, but Ronin, clip number 10, I think is a cheater. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you agree with. Let me know what you disagree with. Tell me where you think I'm being a bot with some of my opinions. I'd love to hear what you think. Let's hope that Verdansk is better. I'll be getting on that soon. I'm excited. I hope you are too. But for now, I'm out.